Hi guys, John Jackson here with Alliance Insurance Services. Today I want to talk to my business owners, my managers, my HR people out there, and I want to talk about common lawsuits that businesses face today. Now, this is not a fun topic, but it's really important because things are changing in the world of business, especially when it comes to how we interact with our employees and how things have been and how things are becoming. So I want to get into this a little bit with two main things that you are likely to find, in fact, very likely to find in the modern business world. So the first thing is sexual harassment. Now, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, you know that over the last couple years, this has exploded as a national issue. And for the first time in a long time, you're really seeing women of today standing up for themselves in the workplace and not taking some of the terrible things that have happened to them over the decades. So if you're a business owner, you're kind of crazy to think that this may not affect you. You may think that you have a fantastic working relationship with your employees, and that may be true, but things still happen. And you may have a few people in your business that say things that you don't know about. So you have to be aware that this occurs and you have to be ready for it. For those people who say this could never happen to me, 25% of all women in the workplace have reported being sexually harassed. That is a staggering statistic. If you think about how many women work today, and if you think about how many people that is, 25%, so 1 in 4. I mean, that is just outrageous. And so if you think that this could never happen to your business, it's more of a question of when it happens to your business, really depending on how big it is. Because the more employees you have, statistically, you're just more likely to have this happen to you. So you need to be aware of that. You need to take measures to make sure that people are treated with respect and you address this before it becomes an issue in your business. That's the first thing I really wanted to stress. Sexual harassment happens. It happens all the time. It happens every day. It happens to people of all genders. But we need to be aware of it so that we can minimize it and then prepare for it if it does occur. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is wrongful termination. You may think that you have a wonderful relationship with your employees, like I said previously, and that no one's ever going to sue you, especially if they worked for you for a long time. Well, 60% of employers have been sued by an employee in the last 5 years. Over half. So over half of all businesses have faced a lawsuit from a current or former employee. I mean, right there, you are very likely to have this occur if you're in business. And the longer you're in business and the more employees you have, the more likely you are to have this happen. So you need to be prepared for it when it does occur. So wrongful termination typically happens one of 3 ways. It's either based on discrimination, it's based on breach of contract, or it's based on retaliation. Now in the blog, I go over this a little bit more detail and I kind of show you what that can be like. I give a list of examples of what kinds of discrimination they typically look for, based on what kind of breach of contract, and then retaliation, like really what that means. So if you want to look into this a little more, please definitely read the blog. But the main point is, this is a common event. I mean, I've seen this in places that I've worked. I've actually worked with someone who has sued a boss for retaliation. So you need to be aware that these things occur and you need to be ready. Make sure you're taking steps to prevent this. If you are thinking about letting someone go, make sure that your reasons are good. And even if it's an at-will state, that you're not going to fire someone in a way that will lead them to have a reason to be really angry with you, and especially have a lawsuit case that they can take to a lawyer, because I guarantee you there are attorneys out there who are happy to take you to court, even for things that you think you should not be liable for. So the major point that I'm trying to make here is this. Employees take their employers to court on a regular basis. You are more likely to have one of these type of things happen to you. You're more likely to be sued by one of your own employees than you are a whole slew of other risks that you already have coverage for. And not only that, but your general liability policy does not cover these. If you get sued for retaliation or for sexual harassment, and you go to your insurance company, you say, well, I've got a general liability policy, that should cover it, right? Your insurance company is going to say, no, that's not part of this policy. So what you need to do to be protected for something like this is get something called EPLI. That's Employment Practices Liability Insurance. Now, I've written about this before on our blog. Some of you may or may not have seen this, but I wrote something new. Obviously, I've already referenced it. So check that out. It's about this, but also go back and read that additional blog. There's a lot of information coming out now about this type of coverage. If you're going to be in today's work environment, you have to have this. So please check that out. If you have questions, let us know. And as always, thanks so much for watching, guys. And if you like it, why not like? Right down below. Don't do that. This. So if you think this is good information, please like it. Please go ahead and leave a comment or contact us at Alliance Insurance. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.